Peace, world. It's Sha Mecca. I just wanted to touch base real quick on the mother-daughter relationships, as far as my perception of them, and the desperate state of emergency with the whole situation, with the whole vibe. Like, you got daughters that are so scared to talk to their mothers about issues that are going on with them. Scared to talk about their feelings, what type of growth is taking place with them, the changes. And it's so sad that, they have all these issues taking place and they run into complete strangers for everything that they should have at home. And I think it's important that mothers learn that in order for, daughters to confide in them, they have to open up the avenue for it. You have to open up and lay down the pavement to allow her to travel down that road with you. You can't just shut her down because you're fearful of what took place during your youth, throughout your youth, and what your mother told you took place throughout her youth, and what kept her fearful of, exposing you to the truth. Because I noticed that a lot of females always teach their daughters from a young age that, the male counterparts are hazardous beings. Like, you have to be careful, you can't do this around them. If I catch you doing this, there's always this, fear that we, relate to the males and when they're around females. Rather than teaching them how to behave and, the safeties and the dangers and how to keep themselves safe and, maintain respect and, everything that should be taught to them to allow them to make healthy choices, and build healthy relationships. Because, I mean, why wouldn't you want to teach your daughter, how to have a healthy relationship with another male, how to have male friends? I mean, if we make them believe that, being around their males, it's a scary thing because something's always going to happen, and they're going to assume that something always should have to happen with a male. Because, I mean, it's normal for them to see it that way. Especially if you're telling them, no, you can't do this because, this is always the danger. No, it's not always the danger, because if you don't present yourself in that manner to your child more than likely is not going to do the same. I mean, if you are a very loose individual, it's not to say your child's going to be the same, but your child may just carry those characteristics. It's just more than likely. I mean, you have those exceptions. I know that. I happen to be one of those exceptions. I take pride in knowing that, my past molded this character, this being, what I mean, and shaped my thought process and the way I manifest, my knowledge. And, it's just everything. I'm thankful for all of that. However, I also act on the knowledge. I acknowledge what took place and why I came to be who I am. So I know that coming up, it was a taboo situation. You couldn't tell your mother that you liked a boy. You couldn't tell your mother that, I wanted to hold somebody's hand today, or I really feel like I'm liking this boy and I think that I want to go out with him, but I don't want to betray your trust. What should I do? How do you expect them to function in the world if they can't confide in those that are closest to them, the ones that they should trust with their feelings, the one that they should trust to know that is going to give them the proper advice and is not going to steer them wrong. Like, I don't want my daughters out there asking other females how to conduct themselves when I can give it to them properly, when I can show them myself. And it's like these baby girls are so scared. They're going through pregnancies, abortions, rapes, molestation, all kinds of things. And it's not to say these mothers are at fault. That's not what I'm getting at. What I want to say is that the level of confidence is just not there. That's my whole point in this whole build, is that the level of confidence is there. I wasn't confident that my mother would understand where I was coming from. I knew that when I went to her, and if I went to her, I would only find judgment, anger, disappointment, all kinds of things that I was scared to face because I really didn't understand what I was dealing with. So it's not to say that mothers should have open arms to every negative situation that their babies deal with. But you know what? When your daughters are growing and they're seeking and learning and trying to find themselves, the last thing they should have to worry about is being scared of talking to their mother. like you're their mother. You should be the first woman that they run to and know that they can run to. Because I know one thing, me and my daughter, we built that relationship and I'm gonna maintain that relationship. And that's not to say you give your babies a go and you become their friend and you get all soft. That only means that you allow your child to express themselves so you could gain clarity and have a better understanding of what it is they're dealing with. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't never gonna know what's going on with your child if your child is constantly running from you and your child's not telling you nothing. You know, I realize that a lot of parents don't talk to their daughters about sex. They don't talk to their daughters about STDs. They wait till the school system teaches them about sex. They gotta go to health ed to learn about, different sex organs and different STDs, things that they should have been aware about. You know, you don't leave it up to someone else to do what you need to do. And it's like when they do get to school and they learn this, how are they going to apply this knowledge? Is that a question that was ever asked? Do you talk to your kids about these things or do you just wait till it comes up? You know what I mean? Because you can't do that. Like my daughter, she's going through her little phases, she's going through puberty, she's liking boys. I understand it, I respect it, I've been there. So I'm not gonna shut her down and reject her. However, I'm gonna give her whatever knowledge, wisdom, and understanding I have so that she can see things from a different perspective. You know, because sometimes kids think that, we're lost in the world and we don't have, we ain't got no more game, we don't know what's going on. That's not true, you know. But the last thing I want to do is make my daughter my enemy, and I don't want my daughter hating me. And the mothers out there shouldn't want their daughters hating them either, And a lot of the reason why our daughters is running from home, they're all running from home at young ages. They're out there having babies because they're trying to make a different life. They're trying to start brand new, not realizing that all they're doing is moving into a different cipher and bringing all that baggage right there with them. So nothing is actually being started fresh because nothing's been resolved. None of the issues. Where's your support system? A lot of these young females don't have that because their mothers never had it. So they couldn't even give themselves the emotional support, the mental support that they needed as far as making sure that they maintained and they kept sane and, you know, made sure that they kept themselves in positive, vibrations within positive vibrations to keep, a healthy cycle for their babies. A lot of these females were so messed up coming up that they just didn't care. And now their babies is messed up coming up and they're having babies and it's the same thing. I see mothers who have babies, who their babies were taken away. Their babies grow up and have babies. Their babies get taken away. And it's sad and it hurts to see that because sometimes you want to say, yeah, I know she's gonna break the chains. I know she's not gonna continue the cycle. And then when you see that she does, it's heartbreaking because it's become an average, customary type of living for our daughters. You know, our daughters have yet to understand that there is a lot of living to do before you go ahead and dedicate yourself to something that you have not prepared yourself for. You don't want to be in a relationship without experience. I don't want my daughter to, go into, you know, her adulthood having already experienced everything as a child. Where's the fun in that for her? Where's the enjoyment in that for her? I want my daughter to be like I was at 21, having done everything by the age of 21 that I could have done at 21, at 15, getting in bars, what, drinking what, smoking what. All that was already done by then. It was nothing new. There was nothing new to me when it came to that. So, it's a choice that we make. I chose to show my daughter a different side of me. I chose to change because I wanted my daughter to understand that we can be great women, that our circumstances don't define us. And if we don't teach that to them by showing them our strength, by how we carry ourselves, then they're not going to ever be able to do it. Our daughters are so lost thinking that they have to give themselves to every man they come across because that's going to gain them some type of respect and loyalty. And they're going to get it because they never got it at home. I'm loyal to mine. And I want my daughter to always know that no matter what she's going through, I'm here for her. I'm going to listen, I'm going to be supportive, and I'm also going to be real and truthful. I'm never going to lie to my daughter. I'm never going to lie to her. If it's something that I feel she's not prepared to speak about, I'll give it to her real. Baby girl, you're not ready for that right now. However, once we get through you handling what you're dealing with right now, we'll take care of that. We'll talk about that. That's not pushing that off. But I know what she's ready for. And I trust that she's bringing to me every time the truth, because there's no need for her to lie to me. She knows I'm not going to beat her down if she tells me she likes a boy. I want to know why you like that boy. What is it about that boy that has you smiling and thinking that you want a boyfriend and you want to hold hands and you want to dedicate your time? What is it? If we don't get to know our kids, they're going to be complete strangers by the time they grow up. They're going to be adults who don't want to be around you because they knew they could never confide in you. They knew they could never trust you with their feelings because you were always going to be judgmental, angry, disappointed. Sometimes we got to look at our kids and allow them to experience life and still love them the same. And I mean, not even sometimes, that's all the time. That's not to say you can't give them, you know, the truth. And if there's a punishment that has to come with that, they got to get that. That's how they're going to learn. They're gonna learn how to balance their life out and keep things on a even level. So it's not to say that when you allow your daughter to confide in you that you're gonna allow her to go crazy and do whatever she wants. No, that's just saying to her, I'm here for you anytime you need me, and you can trust me with your feelings, and you can trust that I'm gonna try to do everything I can to understand where you're coming from, and I'm gonna make sure that no matter what you tell me, I'm gonna make sure I try to give you the best solution possible. And if that solution is something that resonates with you and you feel is going to help you and benefit you, then take it and do what you must. However, I will never allow my daughter to be out here blind in the world. A lot of females are scared to talk to their daughters about sex, about rape, about molestation, about all these things that take place. You know, females are abused more often than not. And half the time it's by family members. And when you don't teach your daughters about the safety of their body and how to maintain themselves, they get caught up in that vicious cycle. And sometimes they're scared, and we don't want our kids to be scared. I don't want my kids to be scared to tell me anything. If you did something wrong, I still want you to know that you can trust me to tell me the truth, and that you won't be judged. You may have to deal with the consequences, and you may feel judgmental about yourself after I bring to light what needs to be brought to light. However, at the end of the day, you can talk to me. My mother didn't know I was pregnant with my first child until I was 7 months, enrolled in school, working. I was scared to tell her. 17 years old, pregnant? Oh no, that would have just been horrible. And I couldn't confide in her, and she was hurt. I would have been hurt too. However, that wasn't my fault. That was the bond that was created. It was such a flawed, loose bond that I didn't feel confident enough to say she'll be able to help me, and she'll be able to help me throughout this process, understand what I'm going to deal with. Is she going to be there for me? Those was questions. Your mother shouldn't be a questionable individual. You should know that your mother's always going to be there for you. And the fact that a lot of these mothers out here are not giving that to their daughters, it hurts me and it's sad, and I'm tired of it. You want to live a messed up life, that's your choice. But if you choose to be a messed up individual, don't continue to have babies to keep them going in that vicious cycle. Don't do it. Stop where you at and give the ones that you have right now a chance. Allow these babies a chance. Because y'all females, I know females personally who basically pimp their baby out. You know what I mean? Who, like, not baby, but daughter. You know what I mean? Basically pimped her out. Like, you allowing a dude to hit you off, you know what I'm saying, with drugs while he getting at your daughter. You know what I'm saying? And you got other females who just leave their daughters around men who are strangers, new to them, and just bring all types of dudes around them. And then wonder when their daughters grow up why they so loose. They want to wear those tight skirts, short minis, and show their breasts. And you know what I'm saying? Think it's cute to have their ass hanging out with the ass shots on Facebook. You know, and mommy got the same ass shot on Facebook and she like 50. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. What are we really teaching our daughters? And then we're not even, and I can't even say where because I strive to teach my daughters positive things. But a lot of these females out here, they're teaching their daughters to be, you know, shallow individuals.